Welcome and good evening, traders. It is Monday, November 6th, 2023. Tom King here for trading and going to run into today's market wrap and our trades for the day. So pretty good day overall. Let's get into why that is. The market may not have said it's a fantastic day, but we had another phenomenal day in the account. Let's get into it and let's keep it going. So on SPY, we saw SPY fractionally higher today. SPX ran up almost $8, 0.18%. So pretty small overall move. You would think that after a pretty big rally like we had last week here on the daily, that you might get a little bit of a rest day today. I'm shocked actually that it was a little green. I expected a little bit of red, but either way, just expected a little bit of rest in the market. And that's pretty much what you got. Very low volume day. Nothing really moving, no big swings. I think the expected move on the day was maybe $20 at the open, and I think the expected move on the week is only around, I think it's only around $60 or something for the entire week. So expecting a lot of low volatility overall. Yeah, we're about $50 really, the expected move for the remainder of the week, and only again, about $20 on the session today, which is perfect for those of us doing some zero DTE and doing some other things. And let's get into it here. So we have this gap that we tried to fill previously back here in October. We couldn't get there. We're back to the gap again. So back to the gap, not shopping here, but back to trying to fill this gap. Can we get it done this time? Maybe. You know, MACD and RSI look good for reversals on the weekly. We didn't quite get that bullish PSR reversal today on the weekly, but we're doggone close to it. Any kind of an up day tomorrow should probably tag it. And then also on the daily, MACD has been rising. It's positive and moving higher for the last three sessions. RSI is moving higher up to 61. Looking good. Everything pointing higher. We are not in any kind of overbought territories at all. So good looking stuff as you break out of this trend. The key here is if you can't fill this gap, then we really don't technically have a higher high in place. We still have a lower high coming off of the lower lows that we've had. Now, if we can fill this gap and then pull back and then make another march higher, then I think this long downtrend that we've been in that dates back to August, maybe that's over and we're starting a new uptrend at least into the beginning of the year next year. So maybe we have a couple months of an uptrend to go with this about 4-month downtrend that we've been in. We'll see what happens, but overall good looking on SPY. NASDAQ here, looking at the Qs, setting a record, I think, for the most consecutive up days in a row. I think we're at 6. Or at least I think that's what CNBC was reporting today. So we are right at the top of this trend channel. We're not there yet. We haven't broken it. We're right at the top of the trend channel on the top end. We'll see if we can break through that here. We've already broken through it on SPX. Tech's not not quite as good overall, but yeah, still pretty decent looking on the weekly. MACD and RSI reversing higher on the daily. Pretty much the exact same setup as SPY. So overall, good looking, not oversold, not overbought. We're right in a great position. And then if we look at IWM, how that's been performing, you've had this long sideways trend that dates back all the way to July and really before that. You're starting to break out of this downtrend channel. We broke out strongly Friday. We gave all of that back today as we dropped about 1.25%. So still reversal on MACD and RSI, and then strong MACD and RSI on the daily. However, pretty good failure today at the 50 EMA after we bumped up against the 2 ATR on Friday. So if you're really playing the home game here of the ATR reversals, which is what I like to play for a directional move. Was that it? Do we have a little bit of consolidation happening? Do we just come down and retag this particular downtrend channel line, and then that's our signal to go forth and go forward. We'll see, but other than all decent looking on IWM. We did take a look at the number of stocks on the S&P that are above their 50-day moving average. We had moved all the way up to 50. So we were mired down here in the 13, 14% area. And then in 3 days, we ran up to 50% of all of the stocks. We went from 20% to 50% of the stocks in the S&P being above their 50-day moving average. And then today we gave back a little bit, but that's a pretty sharp run up and a pretty vast improvement in stocks moving above their 50-day moving average. Looking at the put call ratio, just hanging out below the 1, starting to turn over here. I think that's bullish for the market, and I think that really illustrates it if we look at the 10-day moving average on that. Again, the more this starts to fall, and it's starting to fall, as this 10-day moving average starts heading lower and lower and lower here, the markets should start to trend higher and higher and higher. We'll actually move this piece up here a little bit to the trend, but let's see what we can do. But right now you got a downtrend going on in the put call ratio. So more calls being put, very bullish. Market's been improving since this downtrend started here, starting to get to an area of, again, as we pointed out, potentially some higher highs. We'll see what happens. Let's jump back in and take a look at the VIX today. VIX finished at the lows again, about 1489, about 15. VIX been on a big sell-off for about 2 weeks now, moving from 22 all the way down to 14. VIX dead again right now. Volatility has come out, which for us, beautiful stuff today. We closed a lot of trades simply because volatility is just coming out of the market. So when the market's moving sideways, for us, it's beautiful. We have a lot of strangles in those 1-1-2 trades. That takes advantage of a lot of sideways movement. When volatility comes out, that also benefits us as premium sellers. Number 2, and then number 3, we are just Theta is just going to town. So our Theta is pretty decent. So no movement in the underlying, coupled with volatility coming out, coupled with high Theta, is a beautiful thing for premium sellers. It's a perfect day today. So great day today. Dollar popped up just a fraction today. It's been on a little bit of a downtrend for the last couple of weeks, sideways, and then the last couple of sessions on a downtrend here. It is in a PSAR bearish reversal now, so it is moving lower. I think that's good for the markets overall to see the dollar moving lower, which technically would be good for Forex. Today, a little bit of a bump in the dollar, so that hit Forex just a little bit today. Taking a look at the 10-year Treasury, got a little bit of a bounce off of this 50-day moving average today. So if you're looking at the weekly, still in a MACD and RSI downtrend. Daily, same thing. However, maybe putting in a base here, a pretty good reversal candle here on Friday. We finished well off the lows. Looks like that's a pretty good opportunity for a reversal. You're right at the 50-day moving average on TNX. And if we take a trend line and pop it in here, here's exactly what this trend line looks like. So you're on the 3rd bounce on this particular trend line that we started back in July. Boom, and then boom again here, and then trying to bounce off of it. So does that trend line hold? Do we continue up in this expanding triangle channel that we're in? We got some gaps to fill in it. Do these gaps get filled? We'll actually redraw because the gap got gapped. So the next piece to look for is a gap fill back up to potentially 48 or so. So do we start to get a little bit of a bounce in TNX? Maybe. It was up 2.28% today. So the 10-year Treasury back up to 4.66. And then on TLT, as you would expect, after a pretty big bounce here, tailing off today as rates are back again, rising and bouncing off. Just like the rates, we failed at the 50-day moving average, and now we're headed back lower. And if we really look at the trend line again for that July, this is pretty much what it looks like. So now we've got all kinds of downtrend lines. We've got intermediate term down, longer term down, and then this shorter term from July, which I guess could be an intermediate as well, down. Lots of downtrend lines, and we haven't broken any of them yet. And then TLT reversing today. So I guess all of the YouTubers and they're gonna have to wait again to say massive gains on TLT. All right, if we take a look at 6A today, the Aussie dollar futures gave back just a little bit of its big gains on Friday. British pound gave back just a little bit of its big gains on Friday. Canadian dollar gave back a little bit of its big gains from Thursday and Friday. And then the euro giving back a little bit of its gains from last Friday. So pretty strong run up for all of these Forex symbols, and a little bit of a give back today, only fractional, about 0.3% drop. It's all good. We got all the way up to the 2 ATR and then settled back a bit. I think that's very constructive overall. Bonds we've covered here, same as TLT. Bonds just giving back a little bit, getting above the 2 ATR, failing at the 30-day here on 30-day, the 50-day moving average, and just drawing this one a little bit better to take advantage of where we hit here exactly. Pretty much failing at this downtrend line on ZB. Any further drop tomorrow, I will be back again selling naked puts. I just wanted to give this thing a chance to reset a bit, and then we'll be back on naked put watch again on bonds. It's been a great play for us. While everybody's waiting for their TLT to go up, we just continue to cash in on naked puts on bonds. All right, taking a look at oil today. Oil today was pretty much just a mixed, to up day. So it was up slightly. It's hard to tell from the chart here, but it is off of the lows from last week, just fractionally. So oil up just a fraction, 0.5% today, just trying to hold this trend line area here that we have. Yes, we're below it. Yes, we've broken through it. MACD trying to get that reversal going. Not so on the weekly. Weekly still looks very bearish, but we're really trying to hang in there and consolidate a bit. I like oil here. It's my largest holding outside of ES futures. I have a lot of trades on oil. In fact, we had a strangle come off today. We put a new strangle back on today. Right now, I have all 4 expirations working. We've got a 112 trade that's at 124% winner coming up in 9 days. We've got a strangle that we just put on today. That's just getting started on it. So we got a strangle just getting going overall, and then we've also got another 112 trade that's 72 days out, and then we've got another 112 trade out 38 days out, and a December strangle, and we've got 3 naked puts that rose today as well. All of them are doing well. So there's a lot of trades on oil right now. It's my absolute favorite thing to be trading, where I'm watching for unlimited risk to the upside. And you're thinking in a downtrend, you're worried about, you're selling naked puts in a downtrend. Yeah, because I really feel there's a good bottom underneath this 78, 80 level. And I think the risk in the Middle East is still very, very, very high. So I think the upside is your risk. The downside, can it go lower? Sure, it can go a little bit lower. But I think there's demand. Inventory levels are low. U.S. depleted its strategic petroleum reserves, has like 3 weeks left on that. They've got to refill. So people have to be buying oil. You've got the stuff going on in the Middle East where any day there could be a significant supply interruption and a spike. I think you just continue to play oil here. It's my #1 trade outside of ES futures. All right, taking a look at gold as well. We are often dipping today on gold. So gold's down a fraction today, which was great. Not only did gold drop, but gold volatility dropped as well. So a little bit down day on gold, down 0.7%. MACD has just been slowly coming out So the momentum on the daily here has just been coming out. You're back to the 200 EMA or 200 moving average here, which is sitting right at 2,000. I think 2,000 is a good little level to watch. If you break through it, okay, I'm fine just selling strangles on it. And then on copper, decent day up on copper today. Copper up 0.8%. That was great. We actually tried to get a strangle on copper today. It did not fill. It took 4 hours, never filled. I'm not chasing it. I'll try again tomorrow. We did get some other strangles back on, but we have a 112 in copper that's up 84% in 28 days. So that's a beautiful looking trade in copper. And just taking a look at oil volatility just dropped off of the cliff today. So oil volatility down another 6% on the session, now going from 48 all the way to 36. That's why our strangles came off. That's why we're doing so well in the 112 trades. And then gold volatility just continues to get hammered, down from 20 all the way to 13 today. So another 6% down on gold volatility. Volatility coming out. We got great theta, and the market's flat. Beautiful setup for us. A big up day for us. There's your futures. Let's take a look at the different sectors of the market and see what we got going on. Only 4 sectors in the green today. XLV, your healthcare. So healthcare, nice V-shaped bottom here coming off of this support zone. I haven't really updated this in quite some time, or demand zone, I should say. So coming off of this demand zone in here, support zone, whatever you want to call it, it's been moving up nicely. So getting a good bounce on XLV. Tech stocks, XLK, continuing their strong recovery today, up 0.6%. XLP moving up today, 16%. XLY, your consumer discretionary, that's also up a fraction today. And then everything else down. Utilities down, but your big losers, oil, biotech, regional banks. Oil and biotech taking the biggest hits. Regionals down about 1.5%. Real estate down 1.4%. And then energy down a little over 1%. Those are your big down sectors today. I kind of like where we are on KRE. I'm going to watch this. If we come back down, fill this gap, and maybe get ready for a bounce. Regional banks look very interesting here. So I think regionals is something to take a look at. But because regionals were down today, you had IWM down as well. Taking a look at the big market moving stocks. Apple up 1.5, 1.46 today. Apple, strong MACD, strong RSI on the daily. Microsoft, same thing, but getting into overbought territory now and hitting the 3 ATR. So Microsoft getting very overextended here. I'd probably keep an eye on Microsoft at this point in time for a bit of a pullback. And I think we're due for a pullback anyway. Amazon also getting above the 2 ATR, and MACD and RSI still rising. Meta looks, really constructive, moving well above its 21 EMA. MACD and RSI also rising on the daily. Google, same thing, different stock. PSAR bullish reversal today on Google. All good looking stuff. NVIDIA continues to march higher. This head and shoulders that people were talking about never happened, never formed. We'll keep moving on from that. MACD and RSI heading higher as we head into earnings coming up in another 2 weeks. Tesla pretty much flat on the session, down just about 0.3% today. Tesla still MACD and RSI decent on the daily, and PSAR bullish reversal. So Tesla looks good, and Netflix now above the 3 ATR, getting overextended. So I think Netflix and Microsoft both pretty overextended here. And then if we look at AMD, I'm just picking a few out. AMD down in the session after it hit the 2 ATR and broke that Friday and again today, rolling over just a tad. Again, I expect a little bit of a pullback. I would not be surprised to see a decent pullback tomorrow. I'm not talking a crash day at all. Not a lot of earnings or economy news coming out tomorrow. I just think we've made a pretty good run. Need to take a breather. All right, and then Roku, we put this out on Twitter that we were very, very overextended on Roku. If you take a look at this daily chart over here, way over this white 3 ATR line and the 2 ATR in red here, way overextended. So we called this out yesterday as a very possible reversal. RSI in overbought territory as well. Even though the MACD has been rising on this, I think you could get a decent pullback. I would be looking for Roku as a potential, probably a butterfly trade. I want to go, low risk, high reward. I don't want to put on a put credit spread on something that's on fire and risk it, continuing to rise. But if you want to play directional, to me, the butterfly is the best trade. I'd be putting a butterfly on here. We put one out on Twitter. We alerted our members on it. Good butterfly option for you as well. And then let's take a look at Bitcoin as well. I'd like to take a look at Bitcoin. This thing's starting to really come up with this, sideways flag type of a pattern in here. We'll see how it reacts. MACD coming out, RSI very overbought, but continue to be overbought. I mean, we've seen some things stay overbought for days and days and days. Let's see what happens on Bitcoin. Would not be surprised on this thing if it pulls back a little bit here, maybe to the 33.5 area, and then boom, up over 35,000. I think Bitcoin has a good upside potential. MicroStrategy is a good proxy for that. That's also very overextended, very overbought. I'd keep an eye on this thing as well, just for some pullback before you can get any move higher. And let's take a look at SoFi. This is one of the stocks I really love to kind of hate on quite a bit. This thing remains in this sideways trend that we've been in for a while, but these really are a series of, lower highs here. So you got some lower highs, lower lows, and it's just turning tail and running away. So SoFi down almost 7% today, back to 749. So every time SoFi comes down, you get an opportunity to do something, to watch it go long. But this thing to me, it just oscillates sideways to down. It's just not worth doing a whole lot of anything, in my opinion, in SoFi. I think there's a lot of better opportunities out there, but you're just in this downtrending channel since August, and MACD and RSI rolling over, and nothing more to be said on SoFi. All right, let's jump into our account today and take a look at how things turned out on the session. So for today, Monday, 11/6, Delta dropped a bit more to 135.04. Beautiful Delta. Love where we are. Very Delta neutral. Theta, 1,049.32. So Theta's a little light right now compared to where it's been up in this 0.6, 0.5, 0.7 range. So a little bit lighter Theta as volatility has been coming out of the market. Still not terrible. We'd like to see it at 0.4 or more. Another nice update on NetLick. So NetLick jumped up again today, almost another 4,500 or so on the day. So a good jump on NetLick. Another new all-time high. This is the fifth new all-time high in a row, I believe. Maybe even 6. Yeah, probably closer to 6 in a row. Last week we had a $10,500 week, and then today we booked $4,200 already. So we're already off and rolling on another good week. We could take some losses, so we'll, don't count your chickens yet. But we booked $4,200 in profit today. We have already booked $14,171 in realized gains for the month in 4 trading sessions. Okay. Last month was a great month. We made 15 grand in realized gains. We're almost at that now in 4 trading sessions. And then our NetLick for the month is up 10 grand. So for those of you that think NetLick is more important than realized, again, if you're a long-term investor and you're trying to grow your portfolio, then absolutely that's where it is. If you're a trader trying to generate monthly income, then your monthly realized is more important. If you're trying to do both, then you, which is what I'm doing, I got to make sure that I hit my monthly realized. And if I do that, my net lick takes care of itself and I continue to grow this account. So we're now up to $331,000 in this account that we started 4 years ago in this service at $30,000. So it's a pretty nice return so far, a 10x return in 4 years, but we're already up over 3% for the month, 4.4% in realized gains. Let's jump in and see what we did today. So first trade that closed just a little bit, after we woke up this morning. We had a gold strangle close on its own, 50% winner roughly. On this one, we were in it for 55 days. It's one of our longer strangles. Booked $1,100 on this particular trade. So 55 days in the trade, 12.2% return on capital used, which is why I love trading futures. Then we had another strangle close this afternoon on, again, volatility dropping. So the trifecta for us today was, again, volatility dropping, price not moving, good theta decay, and that translated into 3 strangle winners already. In fact, we've already booked, I believe, 7 strangles for the month. If we go back here and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 strangle winners this month. Okay. So we're not a one trick 1-2-2, 2-2-1, 1-2-1 pony, 1-1-2 pony. Okay. Doesn't matter. Okay. We're trading strangles as well. And strangles are still giving us some of the best return on capital that we can get. 7 strangle winners, new record this month. So we are strangling our way to the top here. And this last one was CL. So we've had a strangle in gold, 1 in ES, and 1 in oil today, all generating about $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 in revenue on the session. So almost $4,000 worth of, $3,500 in strangle winners today, with some great return on capitals, 14, 17, and 12%. Nothing better return on capital to me than a strangle trade on futures. I think it's the best return on capital trade that you can do. If I wasn't able to do 1-1-2 trades, I'd be strangling everything that I could out there. I think it's the best return on capital trade you can do. For me, the 1-1-2 trade is a great, consistent 5 to 6% a month gainer. So I think you can take 5% a month on 1-1-2s and pad it with 14% returns in roughly 1 to 2 months on your strangles, and you've got the perfect trifecta. I did a video, if you want to go back and watch it, the dynamic duo of 1-1-2s and strangles. Okay, you do both of those, I think it's the best combo you could possibly have in your account, depending on what your goals are. And then we also had 2 0 DTE trades today. So the first one was an iron condor we put on right at the open today, expecting the expected move 20. Okay, so we went pretty wide on these, as we always do. So going wide on this particular trade, this was a quick, easy 53% winner on the session. We only went 5. We were going to go in half and then add to it if it started to move one way or the other, because I was really convinced we'd stay in a range today. But I only went half size, and it never gave me a chance to double it. So we only took 250 out of that one. But we did go back in. As soon as that closed, we went back in, and we jumped on a call credit spread on the session because I really felt we would finish lower on the day. And we just hung out in that range all day long. So this was a really nice winner. 0.77 cents was the credit we took in. We closed it at 40 cents. So almost a 50% winner on that, $370. So again, 0 DTE continues to rock and roll for us, doing really, really well. If we look at the small account today, I believe another new all-time high in the small account. So another new all-time high in the small trading account. We didn't close anything, but a new net lick all-time high in the small trading account. And if we look at the IRA here today, another close to new all-time high, but we missed it by $100. 99, what is it? $99, I think. So we missed it by $99 or so. Maybe it was $109. That's it. So we're within $100 of another new all-time high here. Delta dropping negative, which I do like at this point, being overbought, in my opinion, a bit. Still decent theta, could be a little bit better. BP usage continues to fall back right in line, but we closed $1,600 worth of winners today. And what did we close? We closed a CL strangle and a gold GC strangle today. So $1,600, 2 strangle winners. So yes, I'm doing it exactly the same thing in my IRA that I'm doing in my trading account. Long-term 112s plus 112s plus a variety of other 112 styles. 112s, strangle trades, perfect dynamic duo for any account. Once you get it rolling, I think it's the best possible gains that you can do. Small trading account, large trading account, doesn't really matter. It's all the same. All right, so great, fantastic day today. Excited about where we are. Market's starting to get maybe a little done. Just a little pullback doesn't mean we're going lower anytime soon, but I just expect some sort of a pullback, and then maybe we continue to march higher a bit. I think the market needs a little bit of a breather if that happens. And if bonds weaken a little bit more tomorrow, I think we'll start selling naked puts on bonds, and love where we are on oil with our naked puts and all of the oil trades. So big in oil, okay, and then running everything else the way we should with 112s and strangle trades. All right, hope this was helpful. If you like the way this is laid out, go ahead and let me know in comments, but please click that like button. It helps the channel quite a bit. If you're not a subscriber and you're just tuning into what we're doing, we're taking this account and we're going to grow it as large as humanly possible. This is not a $100 or $1,000 challenge type of account. No, this is just, let's grow the account using our strategies as big as possible. And then you along for the ride, seeing what we're doing, understanding what we're doing, growing your own account at the same exact time, figuring out what we're doing. So I'm putting this videos out so you guys can see what we're doing. And if you really want to get under the hood and see how to adjust these things, when to put them on, how to put them on correctly, as opposed to what exactly we're doing, and you want to get into the nitty gritty and get some serious education, join us in the Discord. All right. Talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your evening. Take care and bye-bye.